All right, and I say let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to hand over the proverbial microphone to Bethany, and she's going to present the information for today on building our clientele through digital media.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rena. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with people today about their online marketing and their online presence. And my name is Bethany. I am with Acquire Marketing. I've been with them since the beginning. It's been just a little over 3 years now that we've been helping people grow their business through both relationships, concierge type services, gifting cards, that kind of thing. And now this online marketing with Google Ads and things like that to help them boost their web traffic. So that's primarily the angle I'm going to take today, is talking about how to increase your internet traffic, get more people to your website, kind of snowball your audience there so that you have more exposure to people. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to interrupt me, shout them out. I'm just going to go through my thing here, and I would love any questions. So if you want to hold them till the end, you can, but you're more than welcome to stop me in my tracks and address any questions that you have right in the moment. So I'm going to share my screen here. Maybe. There we go. All right. Can you guys all see that one? Okay, cool. I have to click on it. There we go. So, what matters in online marketing? There's a couple of different things, and the very first important thing that a lot of people kind of skip over is their online presence. You're probably heavy into the referral business if you're anything like we are. We want our current clients and people that we work with, our referral sources, to be sharing the good news about us all the time. And when people go to find you online, are they able to find you? Showing up is half the battle. If you're not there, or if you're outranked by your competitors, then that can be a problem. Once you've got your internet presence established and you show up when you should, then you can start driving more traffic to your website and increasing that audience. If you have not Googled yourself recently, it's a good idea to do that. Take a peek. See if you put in your name, what shows up. If you put in your company name, what shows up. Here's one that most people don't think about. If you misspell your name, if you have a name that's tricky to spell, and somebody who has just referred to you and has only heard your name and hasn't seen it spelled out, what happens if they're looking for you and they're misspelling your name, or can only remember part of your name? What are they going to see? Some of our clients have come to us with really drastic and kind of funny Google search results. Somebody's name, we popped into Google there, and it showed up with all this investigation about child kidnapping and abduction and stuff like that, which is really terrible. We don't like to see that. Hopefully anybody who was looking for her services knew that that wasn't the right search result. But then there's some more common ones that are just problems with your Google business page and things like that. Does the website go where it's supposed to go, or is it going to an old link or something like that? So there's a lot of areas that you should be keeping an eye on as far as your presence, and if you haven't Googled yourself recently, it's a good time to do it. Some things that we take a look at when we're talking about online presence are, do you rank at all in search results on Google, or who is outranking you? Not a lot of people are using Bing or Firefox. Does anybody use Bing, Firefox, any of those other browsers? Or are we all on Google? Pretty much
Google.
Google. Okay, cool. That's pretty much the norm. It's the 800-pound gorilla, so that's where we like to have our eyeballs. If people are looking on Google, do you have a Google business page set up? That's really important, both for credibility to the customer and also as far as Google's ranking of your site and your authority. They don't like to send people to places that they aren't sure are quality and good. Do you have inconsistent contact information? For example, is your phone number on your business Facebook page different than your phone number on your Google business page? That can create problems. Do you have reviews on Google? You and your industry may have different places to go where people can leave reviews. For example, if you're a real estate agent, people can leave reviews on Zillow. If you are an attorney, people can use reviews and things like that on, I think it's AVVO, something along those lines, but there's different industry sites. A lot of people don't know about those. The best place to have reviews is always going to be on Google. Even though most people are on Google, it's important to pay attention to Bing, and Apple, because there's accounts with those platforms that you need to have set up so that people can find you when they're searching through different methods. For example, a lot of people, and it tends to be the younger generation, younger than me anyway, who do all of their Google searches through the Maps function. So they will pull up Google Maps or Apple Maps, and they will do their searches there that most of us might do on just a regular Google platform. And if they're driving down the road and saying, "Hey Siri, who's the nearest chiropractor to me?" then you're not going to show up if you don't have an Apple Maps account or a Yelp account. Yelp will syndicate to Apple Maps and to Bing. So if you have a Yelp account, then you might be covered, but it's also good to have these other accounts set up just to make sure that your contact information always stays current and isn't reliant on Yelp for that information. So there's about 14 different accounts and platforms that you should have set up. If your website is outdated or hard to use, Google is going to derank you for that. They're leaning a lot more towards, as far as SEO goes, the usability of a site. So if you haven't had a fresh pair of eyes, maybe a colleague that's trusted or something, have them take a peek at your website and critique it a little bit. And if you're relying on social media alone, that can be a mistake, because while social media is very popular and there is benefit to it, if you are in the professional service arena especially, people are not going to social media to find their CPA. They're going to Google. They're going to check out reviews and things like that. So while it's good to have a presence on social media, you can't rely entirely on that. So then to flip that to a strong online presence. Once you've corrected everything that I just talked about, you have a Google business page, and that shows up on a search of your name and your business name. Your contact information is consistent on all platforms. You have plenty of reviews. You have accounts with Google, Bing, Apple, and Yelp. They're all set up and claimed. That's another thing that sometimes gets missed. Your website is clean, updated, and has a blog feature that we'll talk about in a little bit here. And most importantly, nobody beats you on a search of your own name or your business name, not even a place that still has your information. We don't want people to go to your competitors' websites. To use the example of a real estate agent again, if they have their own website, which they should, we don't want people to land on Zillow, because then they will be referred out to other agents and they'll get lost searching for homes and things like that. So you don't want your business to go even to an industry-related website. You want to beat them out for sure. Any questions so far on the online presence? Nothing? Okay. Buying leads is expensive. You often get bogus information. The same lead is sold to multiple people, and it's time-consuming and inconvenient. So if you're in an industry that you can buy leads in, you're probably familiar with the fact that they generally come in at dinner time when you're sitting down with your family, and then you got to drop everything and run to the phone, and that's not ideal for you or for your business. So if you're not looking to buy leads, then how do you increase your web traffic? And the answer to that is both SEO and pay-per-click ads. Talking a little bit about the differences between SEO and pay-per-click here, they both have advantages. For example, SEO, in case you're not sure, is what happens when someone searches for you organically if there's no advertising involved at all. This has to do with site authority from Google and them ranking your site. What results do they want to show to the public who are looking for information in your field? So to boost your SEO, you can do a lot of different things, but just a few of them here are that you want to have relevant content, obviously. You don't want to have a CPA business and you're talking about hairstyles. That's a given. You want to have effective site indexing. So you have to index all the different sites on your page, on your website, different pages. That's a lot of back-end techie stuff that most of us are probably not very familiar with. So whoever designs your website is going to be in charge of handling that. The speed with which your website loads when someone clicks on it is important. Backlinks, that's going to be when someone else links to your website from social media or things like that, other articles across the web. If people are including a link to your website or you're including a link somewhere else to your website to a trusted source, those can be good things. And then making your site more user-friendly like we talked about before. Those are all good things. The downside to SEO is that it takes a long time. To build that up and to get the results that you want, it's a very slow process and it can take a lot of time. Think of all of the competition you have in your field and everybody wants to show up at the top of the page. If you are, I think I've heard a joke once, if you want to hide a dead body where do you put it? And you put it on page 2 of the Google results, right? Because nobody looks there. So getting that, creeping up slowly is great, and that's important. But if we don't have time for that, then it's important to consider the pay-per-click ads. Through pay-per-click, you can bypass the wait that's involved with SEO and force Google to show your page in its search results for as long as your daily ad budget allows. It allows you to show up at the right time, which is whenever people are searching for your product or service. They're pretty inexpensive. A lot of people have questions about this. The way that pay-per-click works is you set, once you've created your ad, you set a daily budget for that ad. Say you want to spend $5 on this ad per day. That's your max. So when someone does a Google search that involves the keywords that you've targeted for your ad, Google will show that ad until enough people have clicked on it that you've spent $5, and then they cut it off. They don't show your ad anymore that day. The cost per click depends on how popular the keywords are using, or how popular the keywords are that you have chosen to use. So some keywords may cost 10 cents. Some keywords are going to cost more. So we'll talk more about how to keep your cost down on those ads in just a minute. But this is a great way to grow your audience through different types of Google ads. And it's faster than SEO. Moves much quicker. So common types of Google ads are, the one that you're probably most familiar with is a search ad. This is when you go to Google with a question that you want answered and you're not sure what the answer is or what the source you should go to is. Then there's remarketing and display ads. These are advertising to people who've been to your website before. So they come to your website, they stay on your website for about 30 seconds, and then we can put a cookie on their computer that now we can display your ad to them all across the internet. It can be on comonews.com. It can be on shoes.com. It happened to me once on my lunch break a couple weeks ago when I was scrolling through one of those clickbait sites on Facebook that we all do but probably don't admit to. I think it was one about text messages that got sent to the wrong person and the funny responses that came back. And I'm scrolling through that, and I see an ad for one of our clients. The bad news is that the client that I saw the ad for was one of our concierge clients, and they don't have us doing their online ads yet. And this client was in Minnesota. I should not be seeing ads for a client in Minnesota. That's a misuse of money. I'm not going to, it's a mortgage lender, and I'm not going to get a mortgage in Minnesota. He's not licensed to do mortgages in Washington. So it's good that I saw his ad, but it's bad that whoever's doing his ads doesn't have the proper geological fence around it to prevent waste of money on ad clicks for people that he can't use. But that's where you see those remarketing ads, is in all those different kinds of places. And it's great to show up in front of those people because a lot of us spend a ton of money every month to stay in front of our clients. We send postcard mailers, we do phone calls, we send emails. And if we are trying to get eyeballs on our company, then having it show up online where we spend most of our time staring at screens every day is where we want to be. So that's what makes those remarketing ads so awesome. Then there's things like shopping ads for retail products and video ads, which can include things like YouTube commercials when we're watching a video and we have to watch that video before the video plays, or we watch a commercial in the middle of a video, something along those lines. For today, though, we're just going to talk mostly about search ads and remarketing ads since those are most effective. Here's an example of a search ad that I did just a little bit ago. I looked up pediatric dentist near me. And the first two results that you can see there are both ads. Looks like one for a dentist in Sumner and another for a dentist in Puyallup. I am in Puyallup, so when I did this search, these results are showing up geographically. The problem is that they probably are spending upwards of $2 a click on this kind of thing. When you have a lot of competition for specific keywords, like anything like fill in the blank of your industry near me, there's going to be a lot of people competing for those keywords. So what you can do instead is answer people's questions online. Instead of searching for pediatric dentist near me, maybe I am a mom who's concerned about my kid who's terrified of going to the dentist and doesn't want to do it. So I'm wondering if there's any pediatric dentists that sedate their patients. Do pediatric dentists sedate their patients? Here's my search results, and you can see that there's no ads anywhere to be seen. So the cost per click to set up an ad for pediatric dentist sedation or sedate pediatric patients, something along those lines, is going to be much less expensive, and there's going to be a lot less competition. So using search ads to answer questions means you can own your niche market without competition or high cost. So think along those lines when you're considering pay-per-click. Sure, it's good to be blank near me, but it's also great to answer people's questions. That's where we go when we're curious about things, is Google. So practical application story time. We're going to pretend that I am a real estate agent, and I have a farm of about 400 homes that I try to stay present in. I door knock, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Walk around, knock on doors, introduce myself to people. I send postcard mailers and I do gifting and things like that so that I can really be present in more than one place. But I'm not really sure how to stay in front of my farm online, which is a huge piece of the market that I need to pay attention to. So this neighborhood that I farm is called Sunrise. We're going to pretend. And we're going to say that the Sunrise Community Garage Sale kicks off in just 2 weeks. I'm going to put this information on a blog post on my website. I am not promoting the community garage sale per se. I just want people to come to my website. So anybody who's looking for information about the community garage sale in Sunrise, Puyallup is going to pop that into Google. And as you can see, there's no ad for that currently. So with a Google ad using keywords of community garage sale, Sunrise, Puyallup, or something similar to that, I can beat the community Facebook page and the HOA website and come up as a top result. Then I get somebody to come to my page, and I can put a cookie on their computer, and now my ad is showing up for them all over the internet. So I know that they're interested in the Sunrise community. That's the community that I farm. Now I can get those people who are in my preferred area to have their eyeballs on my ads for about 1.5 years. So that's the way we use remarketing ads. It's pretty awesome. So other examples of what kinds of questions people might be asking in other industries. If you're an insurance agent, people might be wondering, what is gap insurance, or do I need flood insurance? Think about these kinds of things. If you're a PI or attorney, what's a good settlement for a car accident? What should I do if I get bit by a dog? So ask yourself, what kinds of questions does my ideal client ask me when they come to me? And then put the answers to those questions online. Once they're on your site, it's cookie time. Now you're going to stay in front of them long term. So it's pretty awesome. We can get our clients to have eyeballs on their website through clicks and impressions. Well, clicks is different than impressions. We'll talk about that in a second, but I'll come back to that. Here's an example of what a remarketing and a display ad looks like. A while back when it was super smoky, this was back in late summer, we had all those fires going on. Maybe I went to king5news.com because I wanted an update on air quality or something. And right there, that's a remarketing ad. I had been on the Harry and David website to order a gift for a client a couple of days prior, and now I'm being shown Harry and David ads on this other website. So that's what those look like. What do these do for your web traffic? So as you can see here, this is an example of one of our clients' web traffic from April 17th to July 5th. In that time frame, they had 1,400 clicks onto their website. As you can see, most of those did not happen until we started running these ads for them. The impressions, which is when someone looks at your ad and hovers over it with their cursor for about 3 seconds, was 128,000. So you can see that huge spike in their website traffic right there, which is awesome. The average cost per click for that 1,400 people was 35 cents. So to get 1,400 people on their website cost them $495. So that's pretty cool. Another example here is that this person got 1,100 clicks and they cost 9 cents a piece. So that's a difference in how much each different type of ad costs, the keywords involved. Remarketing ads are always going to be cheaper than your search ads. So this one's 9 cents on average, and the cost to get 1,100 people to their website was just $106. So pretty awesome results here that we're getting for people using these types of ads. It's not rocket science to do these Google ads, but it definitely takes time. The difference between Google ads and Facebook ads are that the Facebook ads you can pretty much set and forget. The Facebook ads come with a budget. You know, I want to show this ad to this demographic of people until I hit the budget of $30 or something along those lines, and you just say run with it, and Facebook does it. But Google ads are not set in forget it because they don't run out. They have a daily budget. You can monitor the analytics to see how these ads are performing, what keywords might need to change, basing the click results on the analytics. What time of day are people more likely to come to your website? And maybe you only show the ad during those hours of the day. So it's something that takes a lot of time and a lot of finesse, even though it's not difficult. So what Acquire does is we create ads regularly for our clients, as many as they need. We analyze their performance and tweak them as needed, and we optimize their website results so that when someone's looking for them, we make sure that they can find them. The cost for us to do this is $2.99 a month. The Google ads themselves are billed directly to you, and we can work with you to set your budgets where you want them for that so that you don't blow up your budget. And for anybody here today, we're willing to do a complimentary audit so that we can show you where you stand online as far as your online presence. What does it look like when someone comes looking for you online? We'll do that for free. We're happy to do it so you at least have a baseline of where you're at and where you might have some holes in your marketing. So does anybody have questions? That's pretty much the end of what I had. So hit me with anything you got.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So let's say I do a campaign for, I don't know, 3 months or something. Once I do a campaign and I start getting my site out there more, does that help your organic results as well, so that maybe you can actually, after a while, taper down on your Google ads, not to take work away from you, but I mean, you know, because what you're trying to do is increase your traffic, and as you increase your traffic, then you get higher results on the website, and I mean on the search engines. And so what I'm thinking is, unless you just really want to just be massively out there, that, you know, there's kind of a skill into the time frame and the longevity of it, I guess, is what I'm thinking. Is that true or not?
I mean, to some extent, it is true. If you go to Google and you search for Amazon, you're still going to see an ad for Amazon. So even everybody knows who Amazon is, and they haven't shut it off. So a lot of that is going to be based on your budget. If you are spending about $200 a month on your Google ads, you're going to be in a good spot to make sure that you're not missing any referrals or any leads that are looking for you. It's a good insurance policy to make sure that people can find you when they're looking for you. To shut that off at that level, you'll pretty much disappear again. It's going to take quite a bit of traffic to your website, which can happen. It's going to be more of a marathon than a sprint, though. So it'll be important to scale it at that point. You know, maybe you're getting enough traffic that you can turn the budget down on your ads, not necessarily turn them off, though. But your primary or your initial budget is going to determine that a lot too, because you're at that $200 level is where the minimum we recommend to have that insurance policy. And then the more you spend, the more phone calls you're going to get, the more organic leads that are not necessarily referrals or people who know that they're looking for you. So it's kind of a balancing thing, but I would say that this isn't something that you can do ads for 6 months and then you'll be set to turn them all off and never have to use them again.
Yeah, that's not what I was thinking. I was just thinking about kind of the flow of it and stuff like that. The other thing is, because, you know, and I'm not questioning your work, I'm just saying the right ad will bring the right lead, because you want the right lead, right? You just don't want everybody under the sun because, I don't know, you know, for whatever reason, you know what I mean?
I know, yep.
So that's probably a trial and error process to get that dialed in, most likely.
It is, and that's why we monitor these ads. And we keep in mind when we're building them, we have your basic ads, you know, the things that are the bread and butter of your service. Who are those people that come to you? Who are the people who are specifically looking for you? And then to kind of dive into that niche market, we need to play around with it a little bit. And once we know who those people are and we build the content on your website to send them to answer their questions, then there's some kind of finesse and some playing around to see what best results we get with which keywords and which times of days and things like that.
Good.
Yeah, but you can always fluctuate your daily budget on your ads. You're not locked in. Like if you decide this ad is $2 a day or $5 a day, you can change that at any time.
I just want to say we've been using you guys for about 4 months now, 5 months doing the digital marketing, and we really appreciated the time and attention that you've given our account. We got all of our directories set up and all the loose ends tied up and got our ads running and stuff, and they do a good job of checking in with us once a month, giving us reports. So so I'd recommend this service if anybody's looking to do that.
Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate that. I'll send you a check later. No, Brad's great to work with, and looking at his results and his clicks and his impressions and his web traffic, I think it's going pretty well for you. That's awesome.
So if we want
you guys are
to
easy.
take you up on the audit thing, then what do we do? And I'm not sure, I mean, I'm in the middle of rebranding and stuff. So should I talk to you like anytime, and that might wind up affecting what I'm working, or should I wait?
It depends on what type of rebranding. Are you changing your business name? Are you changing the website domain? Anything like that?
Well, I'm branding myself as a health and longevity coach now, which that's the main thing. I never got any traffic or interest when I was just a health coach. And now it's like, oh, that sounds interesting, so
yeah.
So, and I'm having fun creating graphics and kind of I'm going to create a longevity launchpad membership site. And so, but I previously just had naturallivingsolutions.com as my overall umbrella that everything health and related and my art and everything would get put in this umbrella.
Okay. Well, I'd say let's talk, because there's some things that if you're not setting up entirely new accounts for certain things like your Facebook and things like that, if you're just altering names or website addresses and things like that, we can definitely take a peek at it. If you are starting from scratch, then maybe we wait until you're done and do the audit. But, I'm happy to do it on both ends too, tell you where you're at now to make sure that you cover all your bases with the rebrand.
I do have one of the pages within naturallivingsolutions.com that actually gets traffic from somewhere, and I make sales off of it. And so I would, somebody has said, well, then you probably want to alter your existing site but not throw it out altogether.
Sure, that could be. So I'm happy to take a look at that for you. I'm going to put my email address in the chat here. And if you just want to email me, we'll get that audit going for you.
Okay.
I can't talk and type at the same time, though, so there we go. If anybody else would like an audit, take note of my email address there. It's bethanyn@acquireinc.com. We're happy to do that. No obligation or anything. It's an easy way for us to help you as a business owner to just let you know where you stand and where you can make some improvements in your online presence.
Awesome. No other questions?
Guys, real quick, I work with Brad as well. I haven't met most of you, but I'm sorry, I have people. That's why I've been on the video off. People getting home from work. But can we look sometime this week, next week at the keywords and stuff that we're doing?
Absolutely.
Because while I'm doing this, I've been hitting, because I'm in Puyallup and we're in Fife, so it's different searches.
Sure. Okay.
And a couple of things I've noticed, and I'd like to work on that as well. So I'm the new sales and marketing coordinator over at AMS. So.
Awesome. Well, good to meet you, Dave. Yeah. I will have Alora reach out to you with a review of your current ads and keywords.
Yeah, well, we talked with her and we kind of went over the monthly review, but I think we really need to sit down and think if we're doing the right keywords, things like that. But getting noticed, so that's good, but I think we could do even better. So based on what you were talking about in this. So thank you.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. All right. Well, Bethany, thank you so much for joining us today and leading the discussion and sharing your expertise and knowledge with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I will be sharing the recorded call onto our YouTube channel along with your email address in case there are others who want to check out the video afterward and give you an email, send you an email.
Awesome. Sounds great
All
to
right.
me. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.